Om Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Ishvaro Guratmeti Moji Veda Vibhagine Vyomabda Vyapta Dehaya Dakshinamurtaye Namaha Sava Vedanta Sedanta Gocharam Tamagocharam Govindam Paramanandam Satguru Pranatoshmaham Om Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste. Welcome to our Panchadasi, chapter 6. We're going to just conclude the last paragraph of the previous. So I'm going to conclude the last paragraph on page 420. In the last class, I raised a question. I asked, why are you only talking about superimposition of the subtle body and the physical body? So Swamiji, in the style of every Vedanta teacher, presents the questions for the students. He says, okay, since you are not asking this question, I'm going to ask it for you. So why the teacher is only, why Vidyaranya, why Shankaracharya are only talking about the superimposition of the subtle and the physical body on Kutastha. And then he pretends to be the student. He said, have you forgotten about the causal body, Karana Shahira? Karana Shahira is original ignorance, beginningless original ignorance, mula vida, and it is anirvakanya, avidya. Okay, so here we have it is indescribable. As we know, this Maya is often presented as incomprehensible, indescribable, unutterable, indefinable, etc., etc. It's something that is associated to the Supreme Being, which produce this manifestation, but it's beyond our human intellect to comprehend it. So that's what we get from the scriptures. So this Mula video is incomprehensible to us, and it's called the causal body. And it was not presented as a superimposition on Kutastha because the causal body does not really exist. That's the difficult in talking about the causal body, because it exists, but it does not exist. There is no superimposition yet. It exists as potential. Something that exists as potential contains the entire universe, but yet it's not project into reality, into the apparent reality. It's not manifest in the apparent reality, media, okay? Therefore, it was not mentioned as a third superimposition on the Kutastha, okay? And then he says that, therefore, because this Mula Vidya is fundamentally Karana Shahira, and which conceals Kutastha Chaitanya, because Karana Shahira Chaitanya is Stula Sukshma project. So we have Karana Shahira, which is the causal body, which conceals consciousness. As we know, consciousness is suppressed. Everything is suppressed into the seed of the universe, but not manifest as the three gunas and the 5 elements. Karana Shahira project. So only the other two, due to Karana Shahira, other 2 bodies are project. The Mula Vidya never arise, and Karana Shahira never arise. And if it arises, it will not be called Karana, but will be called Kariya. So in other words, this ignorance, it's something that exists as potential, but it's not really something that exists it never really comes into existence, because something that is just a potential, it's so hidden, no? It's so covered. It's so, it's even hiding. It's hiding the two bodies, the other two bodies. It's hiding such laguna because, and there is nothing really manifest in this mula vidya, which is equated to the Karana Shahira, as we have seen many times in other texts. So the macrocosm causal body. So one time I asked this question to James. I said, so tell me the difference between Maya, yeah? Maya, the original, yeah? The original, the fundamental ignorance, yeah? Maya, and the macrocosm causal body. And he said they're the same thing. The macrocosm causal body is synonymous of Maya. Okay, so it's synonymous of this original beginningless avidya, the mula vidya, which never shows up, but it's there. It's infused into the seed of the universe, so we could say. It never arrives. So it is the Karana Shahira. And if Karana Shahira would be something that really exists, and then it would be called an effect, okay? Because it would not be called the causal body, but would be the effect body. So what are the effect bodies? It's the subtle and the physical bodies. What emerges is the effect. It's not project. The Karana Shahira is not project yet. It was there, and it is anirvika nyaha, which means something which is undescribable. Where am I? This projection is Vikshepa Dhyasa. Vidyaranya gives the example, and we're going to see in the following verse, beautiful verse, the example of the superimposition of the snake over the rope, and also of the silver, a valuable commodity, on the seashell. So we're going to see it now. And there is something very nice in the very end of this paragraph, which says that a shiny shell, is lying on the beach, and in the beach, and there is a bright sun, and then it reflects on the shell, and then it gives us the appearance of a silver coin. A silver coin has a value. A shell does not really have much of a value. No, you can do some ornaments with those shells as well. And then it says rupia means silver in Sanskrit. And this word rupia, which gave rise to this, what they call the rupee, the money, the Indian money rupee, came from silver, which is something that appears in this metaphor as something as having great value. This is the power of Vikshepa's Shakti. Okay, the following verse. Let me see here, because I don't know what happened, but why I couldn't get my full page here. So now we should go to 34. Here, Vidyaranya makes a hair-splitting analysis of the mechanism of superimposition and the erroneous projection, which is known as adhyasa or vikshepa in the scriptures. Okay. So translating, so first it says that it's a hair-splitting analysis. I have seen other analyses which are really more hair-splitting than this one. This one is relatively simple, if we translate, if we know all the Sanskrit words, it becomes easy if we have them clearly in our mind. But I will try to translate it into simpler and well-known words by us, so that this analysis becomes a little bit simpler and easier to understand. And then he talks about the analysis here is about the phenomenon called superimposition, which is in Sanskrit is known as superimposition, adhyasa, or the power of projection, the vikshepa. In fact, Shankaracharya introduced this topic in his famous Adhyasa Bhatya. So Adhyasa Bhatya means the commentaries. Just imagine this entire Brahma Sutra of Shankaracharya. It's all of them on the top of superimposition. Okay, commentaries on the false attributes of superimposition. Adhyasa Bhatya in Brahma Sutra. Without understanding superimposition, it's very difficult to understand Vedanta. I don't know if you guys have heard before, but the basic tools of Vedanta is negation and superimposition. Negation and superimposition. So we're going to see the superimposition of nama-rupas on something which is the essential nature of those nama-rupas. Once we understand the superimposition, we are going to negate the superimposition of nama-rupas, and we will retain the substantial nature upon which the superimposition was made. Yeah? So it's all about negation and superimposition, or observing superimposition, and then we negate the superimposition. Okay? So he has this Brahma Sutra upon that, and I hope none of you will have the great idea of trying to study that as our next text. Just joking. We do whatever we want. We guys wish. So without understanding negation and superimposition, or superimposition and negation, Jesus is an independent analysis of the topic. So understanding Vedanta is more difficult. We will take the example of the rope snake, which is the most common, the most used. Let's imagine the situation of the rope snake. The erroneous conception does not take place when the rope is in broad light, because it is clear that it is a rope. So this superimposition cannot be there, cannot exist in an environment of total pure sattva, okay? Because total light, total consciousness, does not produce the background on which a projection or superimposition may take place. Only pure sattva guna reflect on the prakriti of Maya would produce something which is pure knowledge, pure intelligence, which is alone is not enough to receive the superimposition of all nama-rupas. So it requires rajas and tamas, as we know. It requires other energies, other principles. So suppose that it is in midday and the sun is shining, there will never happen such a erroneous superimposition of the snake on the rope. Okay, and that brings us to the clear understanding that we have determined many times up to now, that in total ignorance, meaning to say total darkness, there is no way we can project anything. Okay, so if we cannot project anything on a fundamental other principle, it means to say that we are never going to be in trouble, because the problem of the human condition is based on these superimpositions. Maya Shwara superimposed Namarupas in the universe, okay? And then we superimpose our interpretations upon those superimpositions of Namarupas of Maya Shwara. So there begins our trouble. In the night when we go to deep sleep, we don't see Maya Shwara projection, and we don't see our projections upon Maya Shwara's projection as well. And then what happens in the middle of the night? We experience bliss, Ananda Maya, total satisfaction. There are no projections, no superimposition. There is not even the superimposition of Maheshwar. So ignorance is bliss in that sense. So if we are in total ignorance, total darkness, there is no other energies in there. There is only pure knowledge, and that does not bring about the superimposition of Jiva and Jagata. If there is only pure knowledge, pure light of consciousness reflect as Ishvara, we don't have Namarupas, we have only the knowledge from which the superimposition of this beautiful Ishvara, he knows how to play with the elements and with the energies as well, and then create all the Namarupas. So if we have total knowledge, what happens as well? Total knowledge. So there is bliss. We would never make mistakes in our apprehension or perception or assession of what's going on in the world. Okay? So we would have total knowledge of Ishvara. We will understand the entire picture, the entire equation of life, and we say all is okay. This is all a play, karma is unfold, and you are the light of consciousness revealing and illumining and revealing this play. So there is total knowledge, and then there are no concerns. There is bliss. Total knowledge is bliss. Total ignorance is bliss as well. The problem is that we were born with an unknowing mind, with the ability of know, experience, know, and then produce, and then projecting our superimpositions of values, positive values and negative values to the Namarupas created by Maya Ishwara. So now he brings a very nice analysis, and that is the beauty of this chapter, 34 or 33, 34. The question is, there is something there that is not seen in total ignorance. There is something that is clearly seen in total light, but this problem happens when there is a mixture of light and darkness, as we know. When there is a mixture of light and darkness, so we are subject to erroneous superimposition, okay? Mistakes it's nothing more but wrong interpretation, erroneous superimposition, you understand? So why? Because there is not enough light. And that is the situation of all human beings. We have darkness, or we have ignorance appearing due to this combination of rajas and tamas, Avarana and Vikshepa, which translates themselves in the mental condition of the Jiva as Rajoguna, the projecting mental power, and Tamoguna, the concealing mental power. So now we have a mixture of light, which is Sattva Guna. That's why we need to try to cultivate as much Sattva as possible. Even if we don't use that Sattva for self-inquiry, self-knowledge, we want that so that we can do good assertions, we can do good interpretations of life, understand the rules, understand the principles sustaining the Dharma field and the laws sustaining. And then we can live in harmony with other creatures and environment and so on. We need Sattva. So in every sense, we need sattva guna operating, light. But we have also rajas and tamas, otherwise we would not stand as a human being. That is my take. I have never seen it written in any scripture. My take is that it's somehow in order for this Jiva Atma, at least as far as we know in this planet, for this sentient living being with a certain intelligence to occur, it requires a reflecting medium that by nature is constituted not only with sattva guna, but sattva guna combined with rajaguna and tamoguna. So otherwise it does not stand. You need to have a reflecting medium. This is a configuration which does not stand with sattva alone. When we say develop a sattvic subtle body so that you have a sattvic reflection of consciousness, your true nature. So we mean to say a configuration that needs to grow into the proportions of sattva by reducing tamoguna, rajoguna, and having a more and more sattvic, clear reflection of consciousness. Okay? So to myself, to my understanding, it's building into the system, building into, because I have inquiry and I have question, I have complained to Ishwara sometimes, say why we have so much Rajaguna and Tamaguna. We could have an incredible mind, with reflect and see things clear, very clear in every field of the human experience. But it seems that it is what it is. Maybe there are some other planets where people live on a different kind of human configuration or living beings configuration in which everybody is a yani. It would not be wonderful? Huh? Everybody has so much sattva working for them that everybody, no, don't believe in this mithya. This is not real. Nothing is going to make you happy because you are the very source of happiness. And then all good. But then the scripture comes and tells us this beautiful, intelligent universe is a beautiful, intelligent, or ignorance, meaning to say, you need to be ignorance to sustain this universe, feeding into your vasanas, searching resolutions on the objects out there. And then we are back in the same point. If everybody becomes a yani, there is no purpose for this kind of mithya creation, this labyrinth, which is so difficult to see it through and say, no, thank you, I'm out of here. I'm going somewhere else, or I'm just going to dissolve into my unmanifest nature. Huh? So the question is, there are two aspects. This is the beautiful aspect, beautiful thing about this verse. In total ignorance, we have total bliss. In total knowledge, we have total bliss. When the rope lies in a same darkness, when we have the twilight, 6 in the evening, okay, 5 in the morning, when there is a mixture of light and darkness, I'm able to see that there is something, but I'm not able to figure out what it is. So it's very simple, this analysis. It's just that we see something, you understand? But we don't see exactly what it is, okay? It's exactly the situation with every human being. We see that there is a conscious principle, a conscious being here, you understand? We see there is the Jiva, and the most intriguing thing that we are made out of the Kutastha, which is consciousness appearing as the Atma of the Jiva, and we are the Jiva in its body-mind structure. So we are both, okay? And the same exactly thing happens, okay? So we have Kutastha, which is consciousness, and then we have the body-mind complex, Okay? So the body-mind complex is a superimposition on the rope. It's a superimposition on the Kutastha. And why does this superimposition takes place? Okay? Because there is not enough sattva guna, there is not enough knowledge or light. Even with the help of the scriptures, sometimes it takes a while, yeah, until we really see it through and we develop this doubtless clear knowledge. So we're going to superimpose one part on the other, okay? But fundamentally, we have both, okay? So we have we have something there, we don't know what it is, and then what do? We superimpose the body mind. Hmm? We superimpose the physical body and the mind, the thoughts, the feelings, the emotions. In other words, we superimpose the body-mind complex into Kutastha. Why? There is not enough light. So it creates a partial knowledge. The good thing for us, yeah, because we could be a chicken. I tell you, I have chicken. They are not very smart. Unbelievable. Yeah? Sometimes I want to take them from one place to another. I open the door and I say, go there, go there, go there. And they are trying to pass through small holes on the fence. Boom, boom. And they have gone through the door many times. I say, oh, yeah, you beautiful idiot creature, go there. The door is there. Don't hurt your head. Yeah? No, they don't have enough intelligence. But we have such Vaguna working for us. Yeah? So one part is knowledge, another part is ignorance. We have sattva and we have rajas and tamas. We know that there is something which exists, which is conscious, but we take it to be the body mind. But if there is complete knowledge or complete ignorance, again, we are in good shape. So if we are in deep sleep, or if we are Ishwara, or at least if we are Yani, that somehow understood the most fundamental thing to be understood, huh? And then there is no suffering. One part is knowledge. However, when there is part knowledge, part ignorance, my intellect does not keep quiet and keeps trying to understand what's going on and project something, superimposing something like we do the snake on the rope. I replace the hidden rope part and I project by a project part. So I have one fact, which is something, there is an object there. I don't know what it is. I project another object on that original object. The hidden unknown object is replaced by a project object. And my project is that I am the body mind rather than I am Kutastha. The projection here is there is a snake. So I superimpose the snake on the rope. Instead of saying, this is a rope, and therefore there is no need for concern, I make the statement, this is a snake. Why? Because there is room. Any situation of life, I have to superimpose my own interpretations, my bias, my vasana, my likes and dislikes, and everything. We are doing that 24/7. This is part which is not covered, which I know very clearly is called Samanya Amsa. Samanya Amsa, literally, it means Amsa is the apart. Okay, so maybe I'm gonna be able to learn and memorize 3 or 4 new Sanskrit words to my vocabulary. So we have Samanya, Amsa. Amsa is a part. Samanya is a general part, is the fundamental part, the original part. Okay, so the general, the original, there is that. So, and then this fundamental general thing, receives a cover or a superimposition, which is called the covered. Yeah? Anavrata and vrata. So let me see here. and avrata uncovered, and then avrata covered. So we're going to, there is an avrata thing there, but I can't see that. Okay, that is the samanya aspect, which is the base, fundamental, general part is there. What is that? It is the robe. Okay, and this robe is not covered, but it's covered due to my inability to see it clearly. Huh? And then it appears to me as avrata, which is covered. Huh? And then when I see it covered, I can't help, but I need to define things. As I think I mentioned in the last class, is life seems to be a process of trying to make known what we do not know. We are very comfortable in ignorance, and then we keep projecting. Oh no, I know, I know. You know these people that they know everything. Yeah? A lot of the time they know nothing, but they are so they are so they can't help. They are helpless about, no, I must know everything. And a wise person usually is the one who understands. I know nearly nothing. No, close to zero. I know because who knows. You know. So how can I really know? If I even determine today that this is good, tomorrow that good may turn to prove to be something bad. You understand? So we have the specific part. We're going to project the Vishesha Amsa, particular or specific thing to that. So the bottom line here, and there is a isness. Here he puts in this paragraph, Jesus part. There is a Jesus part. Jesus part is the isness of something that I don't quite clearly perceive and know. But there is a isness. Okay, so let's jump from isness, which is the existence. There is the existence of something here. There is an isness of something here. So this isness we can also see as sat. So there is sat in here. Okay, sat is here, which is the existence. There is an existence is here, but I don't know what this existence is. It again, in parallel, we can, see our situation. We know that we exist. There is an existence of something here, but I can't quite comprehend what is this existence. And then I superimpose my limited apparent, time-bound nature as the body mind. Huh? So this is part is not covered, meaning to say, even when there is a lot of dark, if it's full darkness, I don't see the sat aspect of anything. Have you ever thought about that? There are namarupas all around me, but I can't see the isness of those namarupas because there is total darkness. Huh? So when there is, when I can clear see, it's not covered due to partial light. Even partial light, I'm able to experience something. So there is this isness part. No? I know very clearly when there is light. So this the generalized part is not covered due to partial light. So it means to say, so in the dark night, let's go back. In the dark night, not in the dark night, in the twilight, 6 in the afternoon, there is part light and part darkness. I'm not going to be able to see the real Namarupa. I'm not going to see the robe, but I'm going to see something. Okay, so this unclear thing, this unclear perception, okay, which is not covered because I see something there in twilight, not in full darkness, not in full light, in half. I'm gonna see something there. And this is the Samanya Amsa, is the fundamental, the general Namarupa. There is something there. The general isness. There is a isness. There is something there. Okay? I can't quite figure out what it is. Okay, but it is not covered due to what? And there is some little light. Again, I see there is something here. Are you sure? Yes, there is something in here. There is a isness in here. Sat is here. There is existence of something here. It's not covered. That fundamental nature, that samanya amsa, that samanya nature, fundamental nature is there, but I can't see it clearly. Okay, so it's not covered because there is some little light at 6 p.m. Yeah. So even with little light, I'm able to experience this samanya amsa, and it is not covered. It is uncovered common part of anavrata samanya amsa. Okay, so now anavrata uncovered. So it just it means to say there is something there, and it is partially covered. What is partially covered? The specific Namarupa is partially covered, but there is something there. The specific Namarupa, the rope is covered, but the isness of something, this is there. Okay, so one part is covered and one part is not covered. Okay, so the isness is not covered, but the clear Namarupa, the clear specific configuration, is covered. So we experience half ignorance and half knowledge, and the bottom line here, the most important aspect of this analysis is that one part is known, which is the general existence of something, but the specifics is not seen. And then my mind is going to replace this uncovered thing. There is uncovered fundamental nature of something. It's going to replace that with what? A superimposed Namarupa that I'm going to make a mistake and call it the snake. Okay? And then I will replace the fundamental uncovered part of the samanya amsa, the generalized isness, the sat aspect of something which is not clearly understood or seen. I'm going to remove that, and I'm going to project something that is known to me. Okay, so it's very common. It happens all the time during the day, and most fundamentally, it happens within our search for self-knowledge. We keep superimposing what? The body-mind in Brahman as Brahman. Oh, this is it. Okay, so I had a certain state or experience. I said, this is it. So we don't require anything for replace samanya amsa. This does not require replacement. Means to say this fundamental nature is the isness of everything. It can never be replaced because it is the Kutastha. You cannot replace reality. Okay? The reality is that there is something, and this something is Kutastha. And you cannot superimpose, you cannot replace, but the specifics about that isness can be replaced. And we can do many replacements. We can go and look and say, it's a snake. Oh, no, it's not a snake. Okay, it is a crack on the floor. Okay, or it is a plant. We can make several replacements, but we can never replace or change the fundamental nature of that snake. That is the bottom line. That which cannot be hidden, that which cannot be covered, is the rope. Avrata Vishesha. Amsa is the rope. Samanya Amsa is the isness part of the rope, the isness, the sat aspect of the rope. Okay, it is able to join the Avrata Amsa, Avrata Vishesha aspect as well. So now here, it's very beautiful, this analysis. Now it becomes richer, okay? It means to say that we have the isness of something, and then we have the superimposition. We can play with replacements of superimposition, maybe this, maybe that. No, I'm sure this, that, okay? And then this fundamental nature, which is the avrata, okay? Avrata samanya amsa, okay? Which is that which is not covered at all, because we know that there is a isness there, there is something in there. That is going to be making the basis on which you're going to superimpose a visesa, amsa, a specific nature or a specific projection or superimposition of a specific thing that I imagine that could replace that which I do not know. Okay? So what it says here is that this fundamental nature of the rope is going to be there on the snake. The snake cannot live without the rope. Okay? The ropeness is going to be there, you know, uncovered and joining the snake. The rope is going to be there uncovered as something that I don't quite understand, and it's going to join the snake. So now the rope is a superimposition of the snake, which depends on the snake, and the snake is joined the rope. You understand? The rope is joined to the snake, without which the snake will never going to appear. Okay? So it's again, coming back again to our human experience. We have Kutastha and we have the Jiva, the body-mind complex. Okay? So the body-mind complex is a superimposition on Kutastha. And this is what? This is the sat aspect. The sat aspect of Kutastha is perceived because we perceive a conscious existing being, okay, in ourselves. Yeah? So this is the base, the fundamental. Yeah? But then we don't quite understand it, and then we transfer some attributes from something else, like in the case of the teachings on the forgot the name. Help me out. That's you good? Okay. So we have Kutastha, and then we have the body-mind complex. Okay. We don't understand what Kutastha is, and then we superimpose the body-mind. So now he starts saying that, but the snake, the rope is going to borrow its existence, its isness, to create a snake. The rope is going to borrow, it's going to lend its existence to create the snake. Kutastha is lending its existence to produce an apparent phenomenon called the body-mind construct. Okay? So what it takes us to? It takes us to the fact, now seen from a beautiful, different angle, that we are both. We are Kutastha. Okay? And Kutastha lends its fundamental background nature, its isness, its existence, its sat nature, to produce a human being which is a chit human being, conscious human being. So this is happening. And now this question is, if these things is going to join my apparent nature, and if I don't know that I am made of both, I take myself to be only the superimposition or the interpretation in regards to what I am. Yeah? So, but we are both, okay? We are both, because this rope is going to join the snake. How it's going to join the snake? As sat, as isness, there is something there. and I don't see it clearly, but the isness of something is there. The isness of Brahman is going to lend itself to the Namarupas, all Namarupas produced by Maheshwara. It is the isness, okay, of Maheshwara, that's of Brahman, that's going to lend existence to all superimpositions. Huh? So it joins, here it says, so this general notion that there is something here is going to serve as the background, okay? And he says it's going to join the specific projection made by the Jiva, okay? We're going to see the snake. Suppose I put a torchlight, then the Samanya Amsa will join the rope. So if I bring light, and then we have a rope, but we have a snake on the rope. But if I bring the light, and then the specific Namarupa is going to join the rope. What it means to say? It's going to join the rope. No, it's going to just reveal itself. I am a rope. You understand? So in ignorance, in part knowledge, part ignorance, we see the general isness of something. When we bring light, we have the general isness of something, but then we have the specifics of this Namarupa that immediately is going to join. It's not really join, it's going to be revealed. So now we have our interpretation joining the true nature of that which fundamentally is the isness of everything. There is the isness of everything. There are Namarupas being superimposed, and there is our projections, our superimpositions of these Namarupas. So we want our interpretations or perception to be faithful to the projection of Maheshwara. This is one step. It's impossible to see things as they are because we have our tendencies, our biases, and so on. But we want to reduce the range of our mistakes and develop a more clear mind. So we want to bring our superimposition as close as possible to the superimposition produced by Maheshwara, which is the configurations of the elements. And then as we see things more clearly, and then what I'm doing, I'm going to question what is the nature of my projections upon the projections of Maheshwara? What is the nature of my own projections, perception of a reality, and the nature of reality as it is? In other words, what is the nature of my pratibhasika, pratibhasika reality, the subject reality, which depends on my perception? What's the nature of this pratibhasika satyam, this subjective reality? So it's the same nature of what? Of vyavaharika, okay? Because both are what? Both are Satchit, both are Brahman. And then once I see that, my Pratibhasika and the Vyavaharika, both are superimposition on Brahman, you understand? And then I'm resolving my Pratibhasika into Vyavaharika and then Vyavaharika into Brahman as Brahman. So this is the bottom line here, to make it as simple as possible. We're going to enjoy more and more the unfoldment here. The rope comes and goes, and the snake comes and goes. But the existence of the rope and the snake continues always. We're going to see things as we can, as we wish. There are people who like to project, and they are happy projecting. Those people who like to dream and project, they enjoy a certain level of satisfaction. But those superimpositions, they come and go. Okay? I stop making effort to project, and then my source of happiness is gone. And then things as they are, they come and go because they are time bound as well. Oh no, but now I have a real house. I work my entire house, my life, I have a real house. And then comes a cataclysm, and then I lose my house. So everything comes and goes. Huh? Well, my subject perception of it and the object perception of what those namarupas are. The rope comes, the rope goes, and the snake comes, and the snake goes, but the isness, the sat aspect of all phenomena continues at all time because it's the essential nature of everything. The general isness, the general sat of everything. Suppose I go from one mistake to another mistake. It's very common. Yeah? Oh, it's a snake. No, it is a mala. Yeah? No, it may be a crack on the earth that appears to be a snake because it is 6 in the afternoon. And finally, I may say, no, this is a rope. This is Samanya Amsa. This is Samanya Amsa. And it's there all the time. There is a isness. There is a isness. There is an existence of the elements, and we're going to see things differently from time to time. They are going to appear and disappear, but the fundamental nature, the isness, is there at all time. Vidyaranya introduced 3 principles: anavrata, samanya, amsa, this. And now he brings here another analogy. The analogy here is the shell on the sand beach. In this shell, there is a silver, which is uncovered silver, samanya, is, okay? So in the shell, something appears, okay? It's uncovered, anavrata, samanya, amsa. So there is something there. It's not covered. The existence of that something is not self. It's not covered. And it appears to be silver. But this is there, but there is no clarity whether this is silver or whether this is any other shining piece of glass or anything. So, and then we bring in the avrata vishesha, amsa, is shell. So now you got the specifics. That isness is no longer a generalized isness, samanya isness. It is a vishesha. It's a well-defined namarupa. So, and then the person say, oh God, it is a shell. It's not a 5 rupee coin. And adhyasta vishesha is the silver coin. So the general thing is the shell, and the projection of the coin is the vishesha, which is the specific, the eye projection, because I don't have any money, and I'd love to find some silver coins. So first, Vidyaranya will introduce these 3 words in the case of the shell silver. Then Vidyaranya will go to the original case. In the case of the Jiva Atma, because we need to come back again and again to the Jiva Kutastha analogy of fundamental inquiry. So in the case of Jiva Atma, the anavrata, the uncovered aspect is the isness. I know I am. I know I exist. Okay? In the case of Jiva Atma, the anavrata, samanya, amsa is there. Okay? And the avrata, vishesha, is also there. Okay? So we know that there is something here. But with the avrata, the covered vishesha, both are there. Vishesha, avrata, and adhyasta. Just a moment. Uncovered and covered. Adhyasta, superimpose. Yes, both are there. So in the case of the Jivatma, they are Navrata, Samanya, Avrata, Vishesha, and Adhyasa, Vishesha. They are there. Anavrata, Samanya is the self, okay? Is the self. The word self is introduced in this metaphor to replace the word disease. So there is a self there, okay? There is something that says, aham, I exist, okay? So in the case of the Jivatma, yeah, there is something that we perceive. This perception of something is samanya. It's generalized, it's not specific, we don't know for sure. And it's being called the self here rather than the isness, okay? So the word self is introduced to replace the notion, the word this is or the isness. Self is called isvayam. Instead of using the word aham, he used the word isvayam, okay? So basically, there is the self there, and the self is the aham, I am, my existence. Then avarta vishesha amsa is what is the specialty about myself. So I have my fundamental self, my aham, yeah? And then on that, yeah, the specifics, the avrata vishesha amsa, which is my other part, not my generalized fundamental part, by the specifics, what I am. Again, I am the Kutastha, but I am the body mind. So which is which? So now I have the Kutastha, the self, but then I have also the specific, the avrata, which is not covered. Okay? In the other case, the specific is covered, but I see that there is something there, and I call that thing aham, the self. But I don't know what it means, this word, svayam. Yeah, svayam. Then the specifics, yeah, the uncovered aspects of the specific here, the avrata vishesha amsa is what is special about me. So I know I am a man, I'm beautiful, I am tall, I am fat, I am skinny, I'm old, I'm young. So all those specifics are going to be there as well. So Brahmatvam, the nature, your nature as Kutastha, as Brahman, is the specialty or the Vishesha Amsa, Brahmatva. So what it means, this Brahmatva here, it was not, it's not quite, so Brahmatva, huh?
It just means Brahmahood. So twa or twam at the end of a word is like adding a ness to it.
Yeah.
Brahma.
Yeah, the Brahmahood, yeah. Then Avrata Vishesha Amsa is what is the specialty about myself. Brahmahood is the specialty or the Vishesha Amsa. Both belong to Kutastha. One part is selfhood, the other part is Brahmahood. Okay. And then I misread the initial part. When they say, I know that there is something here, I'm not quite clear, and I call that the self, I mean to say, I call it the ego, the body mind, the aham. Okay? But then Brahmahood is the specialty or the Vishesha Amsa. Both belong to Kutastha only. One part is selfhood, and the other part is Brahmahood. Selfhood is uncovered, Samanya, Amsa, and Brahman is Avrata, covered. Yeah, Brahman is covered because of Rajas and Tamas, okay, our Brahmahood. Selfhood is uncovered, okay? Why? Because we know that we are there and we define ourselves as I, myself, and myself, in the case, is the characteristics of my body-mind complex, okay? One part is the aham, the self, the ego, and the other part is the kutastha, the Brahmahood. Selfhood is uncovered. Everybody sees what cloud is, but very rare people are going to see what cloud really is, because what cloud really is covered by for most people, due to these rajas and tamas, concealing the true aspect, the true nature of what cloud is, which is Brahman, Brahman. Brahmatva is there. One part is the selfhood, the other part is Brahmahood. Selfhood is uncovered, and Brahma is covered. Okay, even when you draw the money from the bank, you draw in the name of self, and it is Samanya Amsa of Kutastha. So I do not quite understand this example given to them. When you go to the bank to write oh yes, of course. No, now it's clear. If you go there to to cash some money, so you have to present yourself as what? As the ego, the self, the construct. No, this is it. Who are you? I'm Claudio, and those are my history here. My how you say my my history, my background. So I'm not a criminal, and so on. It's my money, and it's clean money. I'll never forget that. First time I went to United States, old style I was used to. Oh no, I like to have cash. No, the old days I like to keep cash in the mattress. And then I went to cash to the United States, and then I went to the bank bringing a certain amount of cash, close to $10,000. The bank and the people in the bank was so shocked. They never, because usually if you bring money, they think that you are criminal and you are trying to launder money somehow. But when you go there, you have to present yourself as the ego, the ahamkara. Your Brahmahood is not known, and none says, "I am Brahman and this is my money." Nobody says that. Since the specifics, AMSA, my specifics is avatar. It is uncovered. It has to be believed. It's covered. Since my Brahmahood is covered, I have to replace it by something which is the specifics of my apparent nature. We need a Dhyasta Vishesha Amsa, okay, our specific secondary apparent nature. Adhyasta is superimposed nature. We need to have this superimposition of my namarupas and its characteristics. We need to replace it, okay? Otherwise, people are going to take us to be crazy. If you go there and say, "I'm not the namarupa you see before your eyes," that people are going to say, "So what's wrong with this guy?" Let's call the cops. So I have to replace it. Unfortunately, we have to replace it. Aham is the superimposition. And this superimposition is always troubled. It's always limited. In the place of Brahmahood, we we project the limit aham. It comes. We have God self. We are Brahman. And we also are the aham of inferior nature. Self is uncovered, which is the ego. Brahmahood is covered. Brahmahood needs to be superimposed, replaced by our inferior nature, the aham, the ego, the ahamkara. So when you say, I hear, I do, I myself, this and that, so you are referring to two aspects. The covered aspect, okay, the self part is Kutastha. The real part is Kutastha, but it's hidden, or better to say, it's invisible. Okay? And we have my tangible, apparent part, which is the ego, the ahamkara. So we have to negate the I, the ahamkara ego. The I, the ahamkara ego should go. And you need to address you, the ego. Once the ego, the first person, is negated, the self remains without the ego and gains the new status of Brahmahood. This will be dealt very elaborately in the next 18 verse. We're going to have 18 verse Vidyaranya explaining how to negate. Negation, the superimposition, negation. How are we going to negate our superimposed nature, the ahankara, that without which we cannot function in the world? We need it to interact, to transact. We need to negate it. And it's something that is reinforced day after day, moment to moment in our lives. I mean, that's why it's not so easy, because the whole environment is feeding, now it's feeding this superimposition of the ego, aham, on my Kutastha nature. So we're going to see it in several more verses, okay, until we get so tired that we say, no, enough, I understood. We don't need to go through all the 18 verses, okay? I claim my Kutastha nature, my Brahmahood nature. Huh? Okie dokie. So we stop here. Looking forward for our next class, because I'm enjoying it. I hope it today was a little bit more joyful than last time. Thanks to Lynn and her good homework. Namaste. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Kutastha. Namaste.
Thank you, Arlindo.
Thank you, my dears.
Thank you.
Thank you.